Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Gemini. If Gemini is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, knock, 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 and let's see, what do these tea leaves have to say today? Oh my goodness. Now I just got done rowing, so my heart's still beating a little quickly. And our reading card for today is the Ace of Cups. A most beautiful card. A most beautiful energy. The beginning of new things. Potential. An opening of psychic ability. Clairvoyance. Intuition. Interior unity. Joy. And the arrival of a new aspect of the beloved. Okay, so we're going to start right here. We have a horse with a person sitting upon it. It looks like either they have a headdress on or their hair is flowing. This is coming from this realm, the metaphysical, the spiritual messaging from the beyond, from the cosmos. And this is a powerful one. We have, the rider. In my mind, I imagine the rider coming out of the deserts. Strong. Strong and, it really is kind of the beginning of a new cycle, of course. We're always kind of at the beginning and end of cycles, depending how you kind of look at things. But I feel like this is really the arrival of the beloved, or at least kind of that messenger coming to tell you those signs that are showing themselves. I am not a Gemini, but I feel like this is completely in line with my own life. I have had a profound arrival in my own sacred work, and it kind of was foretold through some signs and symbols, and it showed itself. I feel like this is the case for other people in my life, and I feel like this is maybe also the case for you. It seems like we are aligned in such a way within this vast and infinite universe that there are openings, and pouring through those openings are direct spiritual events. And, I talk a lot about the beloved. You may wonder, what does this mean? This is not necessarily a romantic love. This is maybe not even a human love. This is a part of self that kind of represents that most dear thing, that most dear kind of bundle of attributes, intelligences. I will say my own experience, my beloved has come about in so many ways, in different people, in different events in my life, and different interests and devotions. And so it is really probably akin to how we perceive, God being in all things, right? And this is kind of that representation of the love of God or goddess or divine. I like to call it the beloved. I love the idea of having a love affair with the universe. And so it is, right? So I feel like this is your invitation here. I also see a person. Now they look like they are dancing. They also look like they are touching the foot of this horse. And so gaining that powerful, vital energy. You are ecstatic, enthralled. You are in that place of love that is so potent you can taste it. It feels so immersive, overwhelming at times, but beautiful, We have a symbol of the harvest, okay? Reaping the harvest at this time of year. I've been watching the fields go down around me and all of the particles in the air. My allergies are on fire, let me tell you. But this is a beautiful, beautiful time. We prepare for these long winter months ahead. And, well, maybe the summer if you are in the southern hemisphere, of course. But those are long months as well. It's very hot down there. So, I think that there's an abundance. And I think this really has to do with spirit so much. We also have the illuminating candle right here. Spiritual downloads coming your way. Important things. I am looking and I am looking. We have so many beautiful little symbols here today. It has been now I see that we have a child here reaching out. We have a maybe feminine figure or a person wearing maybe a robe or some kind of dress gown type of thing. Head, oops, ooh, I touched the head. I'm so sorry, my love. On the rim here, okay, we have a bird coming down as well, but touching, hands touching. The baby child on the back of somebody wearing maybe like a baby carrier, and they look like they are kind of walking or moseying along. And so I feel that we do the work and we do the work well. There is an abundance of family and love and enjoyment around. I also see that we have holding something, this person here. Strangely, I feel like this is almost like a situation of experiencing a loved one who has passed, but maybe this is a child who is experiencing them, or somebody young. Maybe it could be an animal as well. I don't think it's you directly, but somebody around you. And it's almost like they don't have the ability to explain what it is they are perceiving. But it's noticeable that, wow, who are they talking to in the other room? What are they interacting with in the other room, right? And so I feel that maybe there is kind of a presence in the home, or at least, kind of somewhere that you go. It could be out of the house now that I'm thinking about it, because they are kind of in this baby carrier situation. So maybe out on your walks, maybe a park you go to. Isn't that isn't that strange to think that those who have past transitioned might be kind of just out there in the world interacting with us? We don't even know that they are not currently manifested as you and I are. But, I do think about that often. How many times have I experienced people or animals or whatever, and they don't exist fully on the same plane as I do, or maybe in the same way, and it and then I go down a rabbit hole of simulation theory, but it's interesting, especially with children around, or animals that like to stare at the walls. With children, it's hard sometimes to tell, what are they playing? What are they, my daughter's really into make-believe right now, and she's always having conversations, and half of her dolls are named Mommy, so I'm constantly like, oh, what do you need, babe? I'm playing, Mom. But sometimes you just wonder, who are they talking to exactly? What is, what goes on there? Do they have interactions beyond just kind of what their minds are creating for them? And, it wouldn't be surprising if that were the case. So, if you are feeling something around the house, I feel like this is a happy spirit. I feel like if you are out in the world, experiencing things that are a bit uncanny, be aware, be vigilant, but I don't think that this is necessarily a negative spirit. We also have that bird up there. So I do think that there's some messaging coming through of some kind. So, if this isn't coming through to you through the person you are with, your child, grandchild, or animal that you were kind of out there with, look into your dreams, ask for clarity, and hopefully you will receive that message more directly, okay? But that seems like a pretty potent energy we have going on here. And now up here we have a cow-headed being right there, you can see. And we have a person up here with arms open. We have another person here holding something but looking at this cow being. Now this is going to represent Hathor, a mother goddess, and with the arms open in this way, it says to me that this is a devotional posture, one of being open and receptive. And so I have a feeling that this kind of middle goddess archetype is important to you recently. This could has something to do with fertility, health issues, domestic matters, and so I think that in these times it's important for us to commune, especially with the earth, getting out there into nature, but also with those matriarchal people in our lives, right? It doesn't have to be your mother or grandmother. It could be somebody who feels like a mother, who is a good friend, somebody who feels, like they are in a mother role, a mom friend, as we call them. And I think just surrounding yourself in this energy will be important. It is grounding. It is healing. Acts of unconditional love, non-judgment, as they say in the therapies, radical love, radical honesty. And, if you are so inclined, maybe go and read up on Hathor. This is an Egyptian goddess, and, One that is very interesting. Her many different forms are beautiful. Her complex. I think the only one that is still kind of standing, gorgeous. I love her in the motif of the actual cow with the long ears. She kind of looks like some type of fae creature. But this is a place that we can also go in our minds, right? To to find inspiration, creativity, a wholeness of being, of returning to self, so that we may begin to trust our intuition, which is a big deal, in all aspects of life. This is part of the work that is so important, part of the middle work, I would say. Getting to a place where we hear ourselves, we trust ourselves, we listen to our intuition, we figure out how to apply that to how we're living. And this is kind of that precursor to finding one's voice. Okay? And as that comes to be, and so we are in a position of telling our stories, creating our art, going in further towards those mysteries, getting past those initial doorways, further and further in. And that is the goal for some of us, I think. For me anyways, it is. And maybe it is for you. Okay, and then we have the duck here. Okay. Just kind of sailing around. The duck is an interesting creature. I kind of, there is this concept of night side within the occult, some variations of the occult, and these are they could be, some people consider it more left-handed, or I don't know how to explain it so much as to me it is going out beneath the moon, where things are surreal, right? Where we create our own light so that we may have eyes to see. And then there are these creatures that live in those dark gardens. And the duck is strangely one of those in my eyes, because although it's beautiful, although it is serene, and I love that when the waves are coming, they just kind of stay floating over the waves, right? So a pretty consistent creature. On the other hand, they're quite violent. They are not nice to one another. The way that they procreate, not the most peaceful thing, and they they just are they kind of are tiny little monsters in a way, and to me this is a beautiful thing. It is a wonderful example of how truly beyond the human constructs, things just exist in this complex way. Nothing is so good or bad. Nothing is, nothing is, I don't know how to, honorable always, right? I think often, and maybe this is from my own life experience, but people who are overtly I guess super pure, or at least they promote themselves as this always kind, somebody who is completely safe, they never misspeak, right? They're very well put together in the way that they present themselves. I do not trust that. I do not. There is so much room for that flip side, right? I like messy people. I like people who make mistakes. I like people who, can be a little bit dangerous sometimes. They have a past. They're working towards something else, but they make mistakes. They make mistakes. They don't know what they're talking about all the time. These are the people that are my people. And, and I see when we look at nature, we think, oh, this is nice little duck. Well, that duck will really snap your finger off if it could. So, I look at this symbol and I see, and this is, good. We're talking about Gemini. So many things. And this is what I love about a Gemini too, is that you are what you are. You're so many things. And with the twins, there's that duality, the ability to fluidly move through different aspects of self. That Mercury is strong. It is strong. And you are who you are in any given moment. And, there's something very confronting about an authentic being, but there is also something that feels so rare. And that's why you're able to do what you do. And I think that's why, in these moments I see, we have this beloved, we have the universe showing itself to you. And I feel a lot of that is because you have those eyes. You are not so apart from your origins. You have not spent most of your life trying to expel everything that is distasteful about yourself, but rather to integrate, to find ways to make it work for you. And that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Okay, let's see. I have a person kind of standing here looking off. A little sailboat. A little bit of emotion. Well, I feel that you will be going on some kind of little trip, a day trip, somewhere, maybe even within your own little town or city. It seems that you'll be going to water of some kind, maybe going swimming or going to the water to just kind of look out there, take it all in. And I think as this happens, there is a moment. I think there's a moment where, there's a certain amount of lament about maybe an old relationship. I don't know. Have you ever had a friend or, like a brief love affair or what have you, with somebody where you see the universe in them? There's something so intriguing, so right to your configuration. You speak to each other in such a way that is so connected. It is very volatile. Ultimately, it does not work out. It just cannot. But as you go on, you see fragments of that in other things. And this is the beloved, I think. Sometimes this beloved is suited to one person, or, they come through. A strange occurrence that I used to have once in a while before I was in recovery is that I would be around people often who were drinking heavily, or were doing drugs and things, and often, not always, but some people who were somewhat occult minded or spiritually minded, and ever so often there would be somebody who it was almost like things were coming through them, right? Speaking through them. Not so much that they were channeling, not so much that they were possessed, but maybe that they were inebriated enough that they became some kind of portal. And it's like this, thing, this kind of messenger would reach through them. And, that is kind of where you would get that moment of download, right? And, the same kind of feeling in having these volatile relationships. Maybe it's not as potent in one sitting, but kind of spread out over actions and shared, situations and emotions and things. And so as you go to the water, I feel that there's a memory of this that comes up. Something in your life where you remember, in this person. But I want you to take this and remember. And I think, this comes up a lot with people who are into this like twin flames and that kind of thing. I think it's less about whoever that person is and more about the manifestation of the beloved, of the animus anima. This can be coaxed into other things. We do not have to lament those old relationships, especially if they were toxic. And often this is where it happens. We've experienced these kinds of love attachments because in a toxic or chaotic relationship, things feel very passionate often because there are a lot of ups and downs. But we do not have to return to those old things. We can invoke these this kind of intelligence into other things, into our artwork, into our meditation, active visualization, different kinds of magical acts, and so on. So do not lament. That strand of consciousness is alive in your life. It is right beside you. We only need look inside. Okay, we're going to take a look at the divine doors, okay? And I love doors. I love sacred doors. I love all doors. I love this deck of cards. Okay, so I'm just going to stop where it feels right. This is a beaut. It's a beaut. All right. And I'm going to turn it, and it says, a stranger's grace. Ego fears the sudden danger, but never underestimate the kindness of a loving stranger. Yes. You never know. See, I'm pretty scared of people, so sometimes I close my doors off to people. But I've been trying a lot more in these last years to be open once more. But, you never know. And this is not unlike what we were just talking about. That beautiful thing, that God thing, that divine thing, that beloved thing, it manifests all over the place. Through strangers, through animals, through plant life, through our dreams. And and especially going into those interior landscapes. Okay, Gemini, I'm going to say thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you'd be so kind as to like the video, it helps us get into the algorithm. And as we know, the algorithm kind of rules the universe. So we like to give it the engagement that it wants. And that is by doing things like liking the video, sharing the readings on other social media platforms, and watching the readings from the beginning to the end. If you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. I've also added a perk to, I have only the one member level, and I think it's like $2.99. But I added a perk, which is that I started a Discord server, which is like a chat room. So if you want to chat, become a member and get on Discord, and we're over there. So you can meet the other community members, and I myself will be there. All right. Other than that, if you don't want to do it, you can leave a comment. Go ahead and leave a comment. I still read all of those. And I appreciate them. I love reading the comments. I love getting to know you all. And that is one of my favorite parts of doing these readings, having the channel. So, Gemini, I love you and I thank you, and we will talk in just a few days.